What is stability through impact and why do you want it? Well, I can tell you want it because it's going to make sure that your face is controlled and that we are going to hit consistent, powerful golf shots. So we can hit a powerful golf shot without a stable face, but it will not be consistent. So stability. Stability simply means that when the club head's going through impact, there's not a lot of flash going on, meaning there's not a lot of action in the shaft. So what we want to have going through impact, as you're going to see all the touring pros do, they're going to have forward shaft lean through impact, and they're going to gradually release it. Some release it a little bit later, some a little bit earlier, but every single touring pro is stable through impact. So what I have for you is a very, very awesome drill that's going to have you start sensing that stability through impact. So it's a very nice feel drill to start allowing you to feel what it's supposed to feel like going through impact. Now this might be a lot different than what you're used to, but it is going to be an extreme light bulb moment going off. So what we're going to do is we're going to use an impact bag. If you don't have an impact bag, I'll show you here in a minute how you can do it without one. But this is going to be a really, really nice visual. So stability through impact. If I am pulling, so we all know if we're pulling an object, so let's go ahead and describe this real quick. If I'm pulling an object, it's going to track our center. If I'm pushing an object, it could go any way in the world. So it's essentially, if I'm pushing a cart or I'm pushing a wagon, it can go off track, but if I'm pulling the wagon, it's always going to be stable following the force. So we can get a lot more detailed into that if we wanted to, but all we need to know is that if you're pulling the wagon, it's always going to follow you. And that's essentially what we want to do with the butt end of the club and the club face. So by using the bag here, we're going to start developing a sensation of pulling through impact. So what I'm going to have you do is, if you have an impact bag, let's go ahead and get set up. We're going to set this up just off the back of our right foot. So if you put a straight line through the bag, it's going to go just off the outside edge of your back foot. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to come down into the bag, and we're going to drag the bag through impact. So what you're going to see is you're going to have to feel some pressure. The shaft is actually going to bow a little bit going through impact, and we're going to drag the bag. So we don't need to throw the bag or anything like that, but what we're getting is a sensation of going through impact. So I'm going to set this up again, right off the back of my foot, and we're going to drag the bag. So drag the bag all the way past. So I like to go from foot to foot. So it's going to go from my back foot to my front foot. So essentially, we want to try to drag the bag from the back of the foot to the front of the foot. And that's going to give us a sensation. Now, once you have that sensation, I want you to go ahead and go up to the top of the swing. I want you to come down into that impact area and drag the bag again. So we'll do that a couple more times. Going up to the top, we're going to make sure we come down into the bag, and we're going to drag the bag through impact. Once you get a good feel for that, you're going to see that there's going to be a little bit of leftover proprioception in your hands, because they're going to be sensing the drag through impact. So if you've ever held like a baseball bat or something up against a pole and pushed against it real hard, you kind of get that kind of slingshot feeling through impact. So it's really good to hit some balls right after doing this drill. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to use that same sensation of pulling or dragging the bag through impact to get some stability in my club head. So there we go. Actually, this is a perfect example. I actually didn't hit this perfectly square, but still got 210 total distance, got a good direction, nice little tight draw. And the reason why I got a good shot and didn't hit it exactly perfect is because I had stability through impact by feeling that sensation of pulling and dragging the bag. Now, the key to this is making sure the face is square. If the face is not square, you're not going to be able to sense this pulling or this stability through impact. If the face is wide open coming into the ball and you try to have the club stable, it's going to stay wide open. So if the only other way you're going to do it is lose the club face, and now we lose our stability. So what we need to do is we need to make sure we're squaring up that face properly, and that's exactly what our head instructor and owner, Clay Ballard, is going to show you exactly how to do in the tennis racket drill. I'm going to play a preview of that lesson at the end of this video, that you can see that entire lesson by clicking on the iCard that's popping up on the screen, or you can click on the link in the description below. You can see that entire lesson. It's going to show you exactly how to square up the club face so that you can sense the stability through impact and start getting those shots that are solid really good, and the ones we don't hit so good are going to still help us play great golf. We'll see you in the next lesson.
Player problems. We're going to talk about shallowing that club shaft out as we're starting down, as we're doing this rotating of the face that we worked on in the last video. As we start this downswing, what you'll see with basically all of the top players is instead of coming kind of over the top and letting the hands come out away from their body, letting the club come out away from their body, again coming down steep into the ball and then having to open up, kind of fillet open the face and add loft to it, the flattening of the shaft should happen as soon as we start down. So as we start this downswing, what we want to have happening here, you can imagine that if I draw a line from the hosel of my club up through my right elbow, that's my swing plane line, my elbow plane. As I go to the top of the swing, I'm going to be slightly above that. And then as I start down, I want my hands to start to shallow out. I want the club to shallow out inside of this elbow plane. And at the same time, I'm going to be rotating.